I was in a conference room recently pitching a prospect on a podcast, starting a podcast for their brand. And one of the customers asked me what my favorite marketing podcast was. And kind of embarrassingly, I had to pause and reflect, and I couldn't come up with a good answer in the moment, which was embarrassing right there because I'm a marketing person. I'm doing podcasts. Like, how do I not have good answers there? But it also forced me to think about what makes a good podcast for marketing, and some that I think would be particularly helpful for you. So let's get into it. All right, so no shocker here. I have some opinions when it comes to what makes a good marketing podcast. If you saw the episode or listen to the episode where we did marketing books, obviously I had a very distinct opinion there. And I think when it comes to marketing podcasts, it's very similar, right? I don't want to necessarily only be told the tactics that are for the here and now, but might not be relevant tomorrow. Instead, I want to learn how to think, be a part of conversations where thinking is ongoing or being demonstrated, and figure out ways to brainstorm new ideas as opposed to being told, like, go do this idea, right? So you need some balance of the two. But if you're going to miss in one area, I would rather learn how to think than necessarily what to think in every asset, but especially when it comes to podcasts. So 3 for you. The first is a non-traditional marketing podcast. I would say it's called Brains. So the Brains podcast is hosted by Julian Shapiro and Cortland Allen. And really the idea behind the podcast is to mix multiple genres, multiple, areas of study, and to bring in practitioners who are great in those areas, top performers, and to have them have conversations with each other. So to give you an example, they've had people like Sean Puri, who is a podcaster and an entrepreneur, alongside very famous Twitter or Instagram influencers. Okay. So you have somebody who's like in the weeds, practicing, operating, building a business, and someone who has built their career doing funny videos or whatever. And so when you bring them together, there's this mesh of ideas that happens. And it's not just in the content space. They've had astronauts, they've had scientists, they've had all kinds of different people, but that brainstorming mechanism is what's so interesting about the show. And it just shows you how to pull ideas from one area and apply them in another, whether that be for content or for marketing or for something else. That's number one. Number two, going in sort of the opposite direction now, and this is more what to think a little bit more than how to think, but the show, The Social Media Examiner, and shout out Coach Tony Miller, one of our previous guests, who put me onto this, but this is one of the oldest shows, and really kind of a boring answer to give, but I think that you should check it out for a couple of reasons. The first is that they've lasted this long talking about social media. So my big criticism with marketing books, marketing shows, whatever, is that they are time bound and they become irrelevant very quickly. This show has proven, though, to have longevity past any specific tactic, any specific era of the internet even, and being able to adapt and learn new tactics as the internet and as attention evolves. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing is that they get very pragmatic and very practical in their advice, which, in talking to so many people who are looking for good marketing podcasts or looking for help, that's something that everybody needs. And there's not enough really practical, in the weeds advice that comes out in a lot of these shows. So for those two reasons, I think you should check out The Social Media Examiner. And the third, anyone who knows me is not going to be surprised by this, but is My First Million. I mentioned Sean Puri earlier. And this is, again, not a necessarily traditional marketing podcast. This is where Sean and his co-host Sam Parr get together each episode and brainstorm a business idea, or they take something that they see as a trend in the marketplace and brainstorm how they could start a business around that trend. And so just having the brain power of these two people who have built very successful companies and the guests that they bring on to brainstorm other ideas, the results almost always tend to go to, here's the concept, here's how we would grow it, here's how we would extend the brand, here's how we would drive customer engagement or revenue or whatever. Because as entrepreneurs, that's where their mind goes immediately, to growth, to marketing, to scale. So It's one of my favorite podcasts in general, but for marketing specifically, there are so many insights and so many ideas that they give as they're brainstorming these different ideas. And I think that would be something that would be very helpful to you. So those are the three. If you only have time to check out a few, I would check out Brains, Social Media Examiner, and My First Million. Hope that's helpful. We'll see you guys tomorrow.